At this point, some people aren't chasing the American dream. They're chasing affordable rent. When everyday life gets too expensive, big decisions start happening. Let's get into it. Check this out.
We're two Americans who are tired of the American lifestyle, so we moved to Costa Rica. We can't really describe it in a video, but we're gonna try because it's an experience. Completely different. Life moves slow of him. We have 24 hours in America. Here they have one Tico or they say they'll be there in a Tico hour. That means sometime today. How long to get a cell phone? 3.5 to 4 hours. How many attempts to find one that had a phone in stock? 3 different cities. Getting cash out of an ATM. It would have helped if I could understand Spanish. How many people speak English in our village? You. If you speak English and only have dollars. And they would like to sell you something for 3 billones colones. You buy a house for 6 billones colones, it's like $12,000. Feel rich with the money because at times you'll have 3 million. For billionaires here in Costa Rica. Driving. No street lights. So everybody has to drive with their fog lights on. Blinded every time a car passes. So better be doing the speed limit. Speed limit strictly enforced by large unpainted bumps in the middle of the road. They ain't playing either. We both got weight fucking up here. I lost weight unintentionally. I'm under 140 pounds. I was not large when I got here. What about mood? That's hard. We went through a lot. Is adjusting to the pace of Costa Rica. Main reason that expats leave here. I cannot adjust to this speed of life. The Chicos don't do anything fast. Nothing. Food is a lot different here. It's very simple. I'd say we eat less than 10 foods consistently. Eggs, beans, rice, cheese, tortilla, pork, oranges, coconut, pineapples, nanners. They had no taters or tomatoes. What about for the kids? No strings, be more independent. They can cook their own meal now they know to clean up. Consequences for uncleanliness here are dire. Rats, fruit flies, cockroaches. We learned a lot of new things though. Pest control, guineas for the fleas and ticks, chickens for the ants, and cats for the rats. Are we happier? We are happier. Do we have more work to do? Yes. Yeah, you're still pretty messed up, aren't you? What? It's you. They all say that. Stop. It does take a while to get used to it. You're used to processed food, massive stimulation on a screen, and a house set at the perfect temperature, and a frappuccino from a one-time use plastic single-serve cup. The lights turn on when you enter. The watch tells you what time to get up. Your favorite show comes on. You think we're here to stay? Not really. Here to stay a while? Yeah. At least you know we're real people. Fake people wouldn't do this.
Black people have an exit plan. And when I say exit plan, I'm not talking about a different state. I'm talking about somewhere else, period. Like somewhere else, somewhere else. And I high key been feeling that way for a couple years now. Actually, a few years now. I would say at least 4 to 5 years. I've been feeling like, hey, this is probably not the place for me. I'm finally making this video now and putting it on my platform now because I truly feel like it's gonna be more violence that happens because we're in really bad times right now. We're in times where like people are really getting sick of it. For example, what just happened to Charlie, like people are really like getting upset with our top 1%, which is understandable in a sense because, you know, what our top 1% advocates for, right? And in turn, it's going to be a lot of conservative people being violent towards whomever they deem is responsible. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of violence towards black and brown people. It's gonna be a lot of violence towards women. It's gonna be just overall a lot of violence. And politically, this place that we're in is just not gonna get any worse. I don't foresee it getting any better. Excuse me. So it's like when I say have an exit plan, I truly mean that. Do your research on what places suit you the most, where you would feel the most comfortable. And if you can, if you have the means, take trips to those places and really try to fill them out. Like, but yeah, and don't have the mindset like, oh, this place is dangerous, or this place is dangerous. Ain't no other place unless you're talking about somewhere in the Middle East, maybe, there's not many places that's more dangerous than the US. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. I know there's gonna be a lot of black people that's like, oh, ain't nobody gonna run me out, ain't nobody gonna run me out of my city. It's bigger than that at this point. It's like, it's not about running you out. It's about, okay, I can spend my whole life fighting for change. I can spend my whole life fighting for justice. I can spend my whole life fighting, or I can actually be somewhere living my life. You know what I'm saying?
So after 4 years of living, studying, working, teaching, making my contribution um, to education, I've decided to leave the U.S. at least for the time being. I no longer feel safe. I no longer feel respected. Every day, my dignity is trampled upon by the rhetoric. And so, yeah, I think the only thing left for me to do is to relocate elsewhere. This decision did not come easy, a lot of back and forth, but I think it's the best decision for myself at this moment. Um, it's unfortunate. But if you'd like to support in any way, I did create a fundraiser, a GoFundMe to help me with moving expenses. I'm going to be moving across the pond. Well, it's not really across the pond, but it's quite a far move. So if you can, if your resources allow, and you'd like to support, please go ahead and do so. The link is in my bio. But this has been an amazing experience. I've enjoyed living here, enjoyed being a part of my community, supporting the arts, education here in the US. But I think the time has come to transition. All right. I'll share more about that as I lead up to my departure. But thank you all for your encouragement here on these platforms. Thank you all for listening to me um, ramble on about crazy stuff or and thank you for listening to my poetry and supporting the work that I've been trying to do here on this platform. So that's about it. Thank you.
So this is something that's been on my heart really heavy all night. So I know that it's time to share this with you guys. My family and I sold everything, our house, our cars, everything you could think of besides some clothes, and we moved out of USA. The craziest part is none of it was planned except for the fact that we knew we wanted to move. We were led and guided. But the craziest part is we didn't plan it. We didn't even book our flights until 3 days ago. And this is nothing but a testimony because when I say we received favor, the Most High was looking out for us. As much as there's so much going on with TSA and airports, would you believe me if I told you we didn't even wait more than 5 minutes in the line? Not to mention extreme favor with the check-in that we didn't even pay for 4 extra check-in bags. Yep. And even though we did pay more money for our flights last minute, we received great seats for a fraction of the price that would be charged for extra legroom or business class. And to add the cherry on top, this is our beautiful home for the next few weeks and the view. And it's walking distance to Blue Ocean. So follow along because we're going to share all the details with my mishpaka. And I'm so excited because the weight feels lifted off and left in debt free. Just so much blessings, so much we could ever ask, think, or imagine. And I know a lot of people will say totally different things, but I just know that this was spirit led. This was strategic from the Father, the Most High. And it was confirmed day by day, walking with the Ruach, guided by Him. I'm so excited to share my next destination with you guys. So follow along, part of the journey. Look at the sunlight.
Americans are getting deported abroad. So while we were living abroad, we actually met multiple American families that decided that they were just going to up and move to South Africa without any of the proper paperwork, without the proper visas, etc. And when they got caught, they were told they had to leave the country and were banned for even applying to come back to the country or coming back into the country for 5 years. And so other countries, they are not out here playing with us. If you pick up your family and you move somewhere because you're just so afraid of whatever's happening, and you're like, we'll figure it out later. As soon as they catch you overstaying that visa, baby, they gonna tell you, your whole family, everybody has to get out. We literally have met people that this has happened to. So if you are planning to leave the country, please live where you want to live. Live your best life. Just do it legally, because it's stressful. We've seen people literally try to go in hiding in other countries, and the thing that happens to them when they're hiding in other countries, we saw those same people get evicted. We saw them getting taken so much advantage of because they're like paying up all in cash and stuff up front. They're trying to hustle to make money because they're trying to operate under the system, and continuously over and over again they get taken advantage of. Their stuff get taken, their car get taken. Like, they're having to pay off police when they're getting pulled over, because the police will also take you to a detainment center. They'll take you to jail, actually, and then you're going to get deported. Like, multiple people this has happened to while we were living abroad. They're talking about, oh man, they got arrested. We're like, where the person? Why they not at the meetup or whatever? They got arrested. They got arrested and they were asked to leave. Like, this is what's actually happening. So no matter how urgent you may feel it is for you to leave, please do your due diligence and get the proper paperwork, because you don't want to find a place that you really want to live, go there, and then end up deported and actually like banned from coming back to the country for years.
I escaped the Matrix. When we moved from America to South Africa, people thought we were crazy. And honestly, some days I thought we was crazy too. But somewhere in between the beach days, the random adventures, the school pickups, the birthday parties, road trips, and all the little moments in between, South Africa has become home for us. It's not perfect. We've had culture shock. We've had problems. We've made mistakes. We've gotten lost way more times than I can count. But I've also laughed harder and spent more time with my family together and created memories that I don't think could have happened anywhere else. Sometimes I watch these videos and I realize how much our lives have changed in just a few short years. Literally, we only been here for 2 years. The kids are growing up. My relationship with my man is maturing. Our dogs are getting older. My bird is talking. And all these little moments that feel so ordinary to us now are becoming our favorite memories. If you've been following our journey, thank you so much for being here. And if you've ever wondered what South Africa is really like as an American family, this is it. Just a family figuring it out one day at a time, one step at a time, one sibling argument at a time. And if you're dreaming about making a big life change of your own, don't overthink it forever. You know, we only have a limited amount of time here. The best chapters usually start with one big scary decision. Girl, and the truth is, this journey hasn't just changed where we lived, it changed us. Our kids have experiences now that we never imagined they'd have. They've learned cultures that we never knew anything about. They have friends from all over the world. They've grown more confident, more independent, and more curious about life. And as a parent, that's everything. When I look back at old pictures from before we moved, I remember how scared I was. I was worried about making the wrong choice. I was worried about leaving behind everything that I knew, everything that I trusted, most of the stuff that we loved. I was worried that we wouldn't even fit in. But life has a funny way of rewarding courage. Not every day has been easy. There have been hard days. There have been homesick days. There have been No, I ain't gonna say that. It ain't been no homesick days. I don't know why I put that there. It ain't never been no homesick day. It hasn't been one day that I thought, oh, wow, I wish I was back in America. Let me stop lying. It's never happened. I actually love it here.
People think moving my family across the world is going to be the biggest risk I've ever taken, but it's not even close. I've blown up my life before. Back when I was 18, I was at a state university, partying, skipping class, and of course, I failed out. I had no plan, no other opportunity. I didn't have a clue. So I started over from ground zero, transferred schools, and it took me a very long time to finish. And while I was in school, I worked retail and I was a coach. Those are the two things I felt that I was really good at: talking to people and coaching. And honestly, that's the foundation of everything that I've done since. And eventually I made it into tech. And no, I didn't fail at that. I started at the bottom. I climbed all the way up into leadership and succeeded at the highest levels, to be completely honest. I did everything you're supposed to do. Got the title, got the income, all of it. And then it nearly broke me. The stress, panic attacks, burnout so heavy, I honestly couldn't recognize who I was anymore. Part of it was the stress of work, which was a lot of it, but also I was a brand new dad at the time as well. And that's something that you honestly have to learn how to deal with. So I walked away for about a year. No formal job lined up, and I traveled with the family, of course, including a trip to Japan. And it changed how I saw everything. And for the first time, I had space to actually ask, is this it? Is this all this grinding myself out for is for? And then, of course, reality hits. Bills don't stop for a reckoning, and I went right back into tech leadership. And not because I wanted to, because I had to. And that's when it really clicked. Getting everything you're supposed to want isn't just a me problem, it's the system. And the system doesn't let you just step out of it. In fact, it pulls you right back in, unless you build a way out. And this is it. And no, it's not reckless. I already know how to tear it all down and rebuild. I've done it before, and in fact, I'm pretty good at it. So that's who's behind this channel. A guy who failed, rebuilt, made it to the top, burned out, and is choosing to start it all over. And this time on our own terms. So if you've ever had to begin again, share this with someone else that needs a reminder to know that it's okay to start over again. I've done it before. This just happens to be the biggest one yet. So follow along so you can see the journey and really see us rebuild it one more time, but this time to get us out of the system for good.
11. This is a fascinating trend, though. So more Americans are leaving the United States for good.
I don't know about you, but America is literally an Airbnb. People are just coming here to make money and they're leaving. So you folks here who was like, oh, the land of the free, the home of the brave, where? Where is that? This Airbnb that we're in, the prices are rising every day. There's nothing livable about America. We are overworked, we are underpaid, and now we're being outsourced. Hundreds upon thousands of people just lost their job because these companies are taking it over to the other side. This Airbnb that we're renting for the moment is controlled by companies, rich people who don't give a shit, and they're pricing us out of our lives. Our political system is in the shitter. We literally have a Twitter feed as our politics. We have a reality TV show as politics here. We had a president who was wearing his diaper and shitting in public with other leaders on camera. That's why they call him Diaper Don. And then we have Joe Biden, which we don't know if he knows what dimension he's in. What is a pitch that America can give to you that would convince you it's worth staying here? We don't have clean water. We're even harming our farmers who feed us. We're harming their chicken feeds, and chickens haven't laid eggs, and they're fabricating disasters and catastrophes to keep us in fear, to keep us on this nice, thin layer of anxiety at all times. We're either worried that we're going to die because our health is crazy, or worried that we're going to be put on the street because paycheck to paycheck is a normal state of being. We don't have anyone to advocate on our behalf. And if we call for help, we're killed. If we point out the obvious, we're killed. Like, if it's going to be this crazy here, might as well move out and try something else. Try somewhere else. And I come from a culture and a tradition where it's simple living on the island. Simple. But I am blessed that I have the option to go somewhere. But not for long, because we don't give a shit about environmental health. And our islands are probably going to disappear in another decade. Some of our Micronesian folks are experiencing that right now. But who gives a shit, right? We're just gonna turn on the TV, eat our cheese puffs, and just die slowly. Just slowly. Just make sure you contour my face at my funeral. I want to look snatched.
5 reasons that we decided to leave the US and move abroad. Number 1, we couldn't find balance. We were working all of the time. We are creative entrepreneurs, but even before that, we were just working and working and working to earn a paycheck that could barely pay our expenses. It felt like we were working to make a living and not actually being able to live our life. And then as creative entrepreneurs, we were always grinding, trying to find the next project, and found ourselves overextending ourselves and never really having any time for leisure. Not to mention, we're parents. We couldn't afford childcare. So we opted to have one parent live at home. Brad's was a stay at home dad, and I worked. So we couldn't afford childcare, and we had to ultimately live on a single income. Humans are worth way more than their productivity. Humans are entitled to rest, leisure, and creativity. Number 2, I didn't get enough time with my family, my favorite people in the entire world. I was sacrificing to spend time with coworkers, colleagues, associates. I had to work all day long from morning to evening and sacrifice the time that I ultimately wanted to spend with the most important people in my life, my family. Especially when my baby is little and changing every day, I don't want to miss a moment of that, especially in these years when he actually wants to spend time with me. Number 3, we ultimately have no faith in the public education system in the United States. I don't have the confidence that the current education system is going to teach our son truth about a range of things, but specifically American history. We believe in raising a well rounded young individual whose mind we can foster and we can support his dreams, his talents, his natural abilities, natural interests. And we just don't believe that he was going to have that experience in the public education system. Number 4, the healthcare system. Brad has asthma. He can't breathe. It was so unaffordable for us to just get his asthma medication. At one point, without insurance, it was like $300 per inhaler just to 500 just to keep our man alive. So it was a really unrealistic system, especially for someone with a chronic illness. Healthcare should be affordable and accessible for all people for whatever their needs may be. And number 5, realistically, the United States is a pretty dangerous place. There's a lot of denial about the racism that's embedded in our systems. There's a lot of violence perpetrated both towards US citizens and people all over the world. And with this current administration and the activity of ICE, that violence has only escalated. The truth is, there's a lot of lack of safety for Black, brown, all people of color, immigrants, women, minorities, and we had to take an honest assessment of whether that's the space that we wanted to raise our family in. And the answer was no. That's why we started to uproot our life in the US and start exploring a future abroad.
I left the United States and moved to Mexico a month ago, and I'm ready to tell you guys how everything went. The start was rough. We flew in the day that Mencho was killed, and that was one of the top cartel leaders. So everyone thought the entire country of Mexico was on fire, but it was just like certain parts. I'm laughing at that because everybody groups Mexico as like one place. But we moved to Playa del Carmen. It's in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's in the Caribbean part of Mexico, and it was way far from all the chaos that was happening in central Mexico. So me, my husband, our 3 kids, and my brother flew in from the Salt Lake Airport into Cancun Airport. I will never forget the feeling of stepping off the plane and feeling the heat. Like, we didn't go straight into the airport. Like, you had to get off the plane and get a shuttle to the airport. So stepping off, seeing the jungle, feeling the humidity, feeling the heat, feeling the sun, it felt different immediately. And different in the most amazing way. Like, I just felt a weight off my shoulders. And it's funny because when we flew from Salt Lake, it was freezing as fuck outside. We had our jackets and sweatpants, and we got there and it's like 80 degrees hot as shit. So from there, we went to our Airbnb and we had a rental car for 3 weeks. So this past 3 weeks, we've just spent exploring and driving all over the Riviera Maya, like all over Mexico, Cancun, Tulum, Akumal, Puerto Morelos, all of Playa del Carmen. And it's been so nice to just familiarize ourselves with the area, get to know the places. And you guys, it is beautiful. The animals here, the birds are always chirping. I have lost about 25 pounds since being here, and I've been here for a month. My skin is just glowing, like my soul just feels so much lighter, and this is exactly why I moved here and why I wanted to live this life and pursue this life. We were able to go to Chichen Itza, the ancient Mayan ruins. We've been able to go to tons of different beaches, beautiful beaches. The water is crystal clear blue. We've been snorkeling. We went on a boat tour and we saw all kinds of marine life. And it's just a different life. Like, it just truly, like, compared to the life I was living in Utah. Traffic, always on the go, worried about money, worried about the pressure of race. I did not feel safe. And it was just getting worse and worse. And so I'm so happy to be here and to be living this life. I am going to post about our apartment rental that we got, where we chose to live, and everything else.
Those of you that have been following me for a while know that I don't live in the United States anymore. I'm an American citizen, but I have permanent residency in Panama. And you might be wondering two things. Why did I leave the US? And why did I go to Panama? So let me tell you. I think when you move from your native country to somewhere else, the mistake a lot of people make is they're running from something as opposed to going to something. We weren't running away from anything. We love the United States of America. I was born in Maryland but grew up in New York City. My wife's in Tennessee, and we love where we're from. There were some things that are going on in the country that, yes, concern us. It doesn't change our life dramatically, but we wanted something different, right? Every time we go back and visit our family in the U.S., we notice the pace is just so much different. Um, it's a rush to get to everywhere and everything. And that's what we kind of wanted to get away from. We wanted to go to somewhere that was more peaceful. In Panama, tranquil. That's what we were looking for. So that's why we moved away. And we looked at several places. You know, we looked at Mexico, we talked about Portugal and Ecuador, but Panama, for many reasons, was the right place to be. Now, why Panama? Um, Close to get home if we need to, 4.5 hours to get to Dallas. Operates on the US dollar. Um, has the Panama Canal, which I know every nation on earth is going to try to protect. Doesn't have a military. Nobody's picking a fight with Panama, except for Donald Trump sometimes. But this was the perfect spot for us. And one thing to my Panamanian friends, who I like to think of as brothers and sisters, and I realize I'm an immigrant. I'm never going to be one of you, but I like to think of myself as being part of something special here. A lot of people are concerned about, Americans and Canadians and Western Europeans coming to Panama and driving up prices, right? Um, that's not why we came. We try to contribute to the economy. We shop where the locals shop. We came down here. We're learning Spanish. I know more than my wife did, but we both have an instructor that we meet with twice a week. Today, Panama's playing in the World Cup. We're going to try to find a local bar to go to and just mix with the people. We came here to be part of this, not to replace it, not to be disrespectful. And so many Americans come down here and are disrespectful of the culture. That's not us. That's not what we want to be. We love Panama. We love its people. We are thrilled to be part of this. And we intend to make this the place we live for the rest of our lives. So that's why we left the U.S. No disrespect to our own country, and much love to Panama and the Panamanian people.
America just doesn't feel like home anymore. And honestly, it hasn't felt like home in a long time. In fact, I feel probably more like a foreigner living here than I probably would living abroad. And that's honestly what me and my wife intend to do next year is to move abroad before I turn 40. Now we've narrowed it down to about 4 different countries. So we're looking at Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. And the reason we're looking at these places is because we want to live our life. We actually want to live. You know, the majority of Americans right now are literally sacrificing their lives just to survive. And it's fucking insane. I want to live somewhere where the cost of living actually reflects an actual existence that's not just chasing this pipe dream of everyone trying to be a fucking billionaire. You're not going to be a billionaire. And if you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to work your fucking ass off and you're going to miss your fucking kid shit and you're going to fucking work and work and work and work until you're fucking dead. That's the American dream right now. And it's just so sickening to me. And then between how fucking angry Americans are, I mean, I can't even stop at a stop sign. If I look down for a second and a green light start, beep, 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 you fucking piece of shit. That is literally fucking America right now. People want to just fucking kill each other because they're so goddamn stressed out. And we're supposed to live in the fucking greatest country in the world while we have some fucking shitty pants fucking 80-year-old running it into the ground. And that's the fucking truth. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, who the fuck is this guy? He's a fucking moron. Get him out. Moron. I'm just so fucking angry about all of this shit in this country. I don't want to fucking leave here. This is my home, but at the same time, it don't feel like home. I can't even have someone look at me in the fucking eye and just do the little white boy stare. Go, the little head nod. Nobody will even do that anymore. Nobody will fucking say hi. I mean, it's insane. It's just nobody cares about each other. I mean, I've lived in an apartment for the last 5 years. I've seen my neighbors pretty much every day. Haven't said hi to one of them. And maybe that's a problem, but they haven't said hi to me either. Maybe a little wave or smile, but it's just crazy. And I know I'm ranting, but me and my wife have decided to do something different. So our plan is to save up for a year. I'm also building online income. So I want to try to have about $3,000 to $5,000 a month consistently doing that to make sure I can make that move. And if it doesn't work out, it fucking doesn't work out. If the cost of living abroad is respecting another culture and following the visa rules, that's what I'm going to do. That's not that bad to live a fucking better life than we do here. Because I'm telling you, I know people who make fucking $15 an hour and don't have savings or don't have any other options. And when rent around here is $1,500 to $1,600 a month and you're single, 90%, 80% of your fucking pay for the month is going just towards fucking rent. How do they even fucking eat? I don't fucking know. I don't ask, but I feel really fucking bad for them. And this has to change in this country. I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm so sick of it. And I promise you, these politicians, Democrats, Republicans, none of them ain't going to change shit. They don't care. You know why? Because this whole fucking American system is a rug pull. It's a fucking rug pull. You could see it in the stock market. You could see everything going on. We're trillions in debt. There is no fixing this. There's no fixing this. So you know what they're doing? They're rich or getting as much as they fucking can. They're going to pull the fucking rug out from under you and you're going to have nothing. You're going to be fit with a bill. They're going to be rich and laughing and we'll be starving. So either fucking revolt or move. Fuck this place.
As someone who did everything right, quote unquote, you know, I graduated high school, I went to college, got my degree, graduated college, moved out, got my first apartment, moved to another city, did all the things of the things. And now I'm here to tell you that I drank the Kool-Aid in my early 20s. Now that I'm going into my 30s, like I'll be 30 next month, I promise my 30s are not going to be lived like my 20s. This whole grind, let me keep trying to find my purpose and keep trying to find my career and like, that's coming to an end. Because I had to just be real and just like really think like, what exactly am I working towards? There's not a clear thing that I'm like really working towards. Am I working towards owning a home? No, I don't give a fuck about that. Am I working towards upgrading my life? Am I working towards buying a Benz? No, I don't give a fuck about that shit. So like, what exactly am I working towards? Like, the whole goal in America is literally to be the top consumer, and I'm not subscribed to that. Like, I do not care about being the number one consumer and the number one hardest working slave in the country. Like, that is not what I want to aspire to be. That's not what I aspire to do. I don't aspire for most material things. And I think it comes with age that I'm not impressed with what anyone has. Like, no one impresses me with what they have. I don't care about what you have because what, you going to give me it? No. So why do I give a fuck? So I am absolutely making it my 30s to one, just try to find things that I like to do. Like, I'm falling in love with fun. I'm falling in love with the game. Like, I'm tired. I'm done with the whole, like, I'm just trying to work and I want to be the CEO of a big company and blah, blah, blah. All the shit that they fed us when we were kids, bro, I'm not even entertaining that shit no more. And like, there's a lot of people that are like, like they still want to climb the corporate ladder, and that's okay with them, but I'm literally not. Like, I'm tapping out right here, right now. It's a wrap. I'm spending my 30s getting out of this fucking country. Like, I want to make it a point to by the time I am 40, I need to be established and living in another country. I don't see me having a future in the United States. Like, I don't see that. I don't see a future in the United States. When I think of 10 years from now, I definitely don't see it in the United States. And if I did, it would be foggy because, like, I don't see a future for myself here, if that makes sense. I'm just not seeing it. So I really say this all to say is that I've literally seen everything that this godforsaken country has to offer. I see how they treat all the different races. I see how black people are treated in this country. Y'all, like, there is nothing. I hate to sound like this, but there is nothing left to fight for. Like, this place, there is no saving this. Like, this whole America is literally just a big experiment that they've been experimenting for the last 200 something years. And bro, like, I am exhausted. Like, the latest verdict with the child killing the black boy, with the black boy killing the white guy, and bro, black fatigue is very real. Like, I am so checked out of this fucking country that I can't pretend to give a fuck about much things because I truly don't. So yeah, I got a blast. Um, Hopefully I'll journey the whole thing and I'll end up somewhere. But yeah, that is my mission. That is going to be my life mission, to make it out the United States. That is the new American dream. Let's get it.
Feels this way together till the end of all time. Can I just spend my life with you? And I hope, baby, will you run to girl, you're my woman. And you're my man. I'm your man. Yes, I am. Americans are finding peace in other countries. Why is it that we are learning to really, really love on ourselves? We are really learning what it feels like to have peace, to have freedom, to really unconditionally show ourselves the self-love that we deserve. Why is it that we have to leave and go outside of America to have access to quality health care, to have access to doctors that actually care about our health? Why is it that we have to leave America to actually get healthier? Why is it? Why is it that we can leave America? No one asks us about our credit. Why is it that we have to leave America to feel safe? Why is it? Why is it that so many Americans are thriving outside of the United States? And we don't have that type of uh, thriving activity inside of the United States. Why is it that we have to leave America to have a sense of peace? Why is that? Can anybody answer me that question? Because inquiring minds want to know, why is it that we can move outside of America and have a better life? Why is it that we can move outside of America and have the peace that surpasses even our own understanding? Why is that? Why is it that we can leave America and have true freedom and be seen for who we are? Why is it that when we move outside of America, we can be our true, authentic self? We can slow down and really enjoy life, eat great food that's not filled with all this stuff. Why is it? Why is it that we don't prioritize our mental health, but we can do it so easily outside of the United States? Why is it that my children haven't had to experience what it feels like for pow violence to be in their school? Why isn't that I have not had to have the conversation with my Black boys about how they need to protect themselves because they are Black boys? Why is it that I haven't had nobody run up in my house and I moved to another country because they say I don't belong in that home? Why is that? Why is it that we can prioritize self-care and love on ourselves first, which in turns makes us love everyone else around us better? Why is that? Why is it that I actually can make it in another country? That I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck? That I actually can save? I can pay off a little bills, little student loans. Why is it that I can actually plan for my family's future, for my children's future, and I can actually breathe? My equilibrium can breathe. Why is that? Why is it that life outside of the United States is so much better?
The old American dream was about building a life through hard work, owning a home, and securing a future for your family. But today, that dream feels out of reach for many. Sky high rent, medical debt, burnout culture, political chaos. More and more Americans are realizing that the dream they were sold is broken. And here's the twist: the new American dream might actually mean leaving America. Let me break it down for you. In much of Europe and Asia, the cost of living is drastically lower without sacrificing quality of life. Take Portugal or Spain, you can live in a major city, eat fresh food, enjoy universal health care, and rent an apartment for what many Americans pay just for the health insurance. In Germany, higher education is free or close to it. In the Netherlands, cycling is the main form of transport, meaning fewer car payments, gas costs, or insurance headaches. Now, in China, a lot of cities offer vibrant lifestyles, advanced infrastructure, and fast, reliable public transportation, all while living costs remain manageable compared to the US. Plus, many tech-savvy cities have their own optimized mobile payments and digital access, which, makes life incredibly efficient. Now, living abroad often means you can work less and live more, and that's not just a tagline, it's reality. In the US, a single hospital visit can bankrupt a family, even with insurance. In contrast, countries like France, Sweden, and Italy offer world-class healthcare systems where citizens don't have to make a GoFundMe page just to survive. Even in China, which operates a mix of public and private healthcare treatments, costs are often dramatically cheaper than in the US, and major cities have top-tier hospitals with highly trained doctors. Now, the peace of mind that comes from knowing a broken arm won't destroy your credit score, that's pretty much part of the dream now. Listen, Americans live with a constant mass shooting drill and paranoia, unpredictable healthcare costs, and deep political division. Many countries abroad offer a calmer, safer environment. Japan has some of the lowest crime rates in the world. Finland is known for trust in government and low corruption. Denmark regularly ranks high for happiness and social safety nets. You don't realize how exhausting American life can be until you step outside of that. The US is notorious for its hustle culture. Burnout is seen as a badge of honor. In contrast, countries like Italy, Spain, and France emphasize leisure. Long lunches, actual vacations, and shorter work weeks are common. Even in Germany, the birthplace of modern efficiency, most workers leave the office by 5 p.m., and responding to emails after work hours is discouraged, even illegal in some cases. China does have a reputation for 996 culture in some tech sectors, which means working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. But many avoid that by teaching, freelancing, or working remotely for US companies while living in cities with strong infrastructures and lower expenses. Now, living abroad changes how you see the world and your own country. You begin to question what you've normalized. Why do we tolerate medical bankruptcy? Why are school shootings a weekly occurrence? Why do we work 60 hours a week and still struggle? Many Americans abroad say they feel freer, more human. They're not just surviving, they're actually living. And with remote work becoming the normal, it's easier than ever. You can earn American dollars while living in Budapest or in Bali. A good Wi Fi connection is now the only passport you need. Folks, this isn't about hating America. I fought for this damn country. It's about recognizing that the dream so many were promised no longer matches the reality. And if the US can't or won't fix the system, people will find new systems. Sometimes, though, real dream is walking away from the nightmare. And for a growing number of Americans, the answer isn't making it here, it's making life elsewhere.
Yes, of course, you can ask why I want to go back to the US after living in Spain for the last 4 years. For me, it breaks down into 5 key parts. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. Everything I say on here is honest, it's authentic to me. So it's my experience. If you guys don't like it, just scroll away. It's just what I have to say. First one is the loss of opportunity here. And just kind of not feeling valued in the workplace. I come from big cities in the United States, Southern California. I worked in Florida for a bit, and always a lot of work opportunity, a lot of opportunity to make money, a lot of opportunity to network, a lot of opportunity to feel valued in the workplace. Everything I did, everybody was super happy, valued, supportive. And I just don't get that vibe here from people. I feel like there's always a push and pull. There's always, why are you charging a deposit? Why did I have to pay this much? This person, I can save 15 euros. It's very penny pinching, and it's just not aligned to where I am in my phase of life. I'm in a career building phase of life. I am very ambitious. And between all of the obstacles with autonomos and taxes and just the culture of beauty services and things like that, it's very hard to make a living here. Second one is communication issues. Now, I've been here for 4 years. I speak a decent level of Spanish. I have Spanish clients. I have to communicate with them. I speak a decent level of Spanish. But
still a lot of things here that I feel like I cannot do. And I don't love saying that in my life that I cannot do things. Like, for example, my husband and I, and this is like intimate information for me, but like we are going through a divorce. And so we're having to get our lawyers, his side, my side. And I'm having to do this all in Spanish in a different country. And for me, it's just would be so much easier if I could communicate myself like 100%. I have to get a translator in. It's just, there's so many issues with communication, especially when it comes to like big topics. And not only that, but communication here for me, just in a general sense, like I didn't realize how intertwined it was with identity and not being able to communicate yourself properly and how that was going to make you have a lack or like a losing of your identity. I had many identity crises here, mental health, like identity crises for me while being here, that it just did not improve my quality of life. Okay, the third one is just not fitting in. You just know what you know when you know. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just, I always feel like I'm kind of like the odd duck out here. Like, I feel like even when I'm out alone shopping, I feel like people are looking at me. I don't know if I'm paranoid. I feel like just people are just staring at me like I just don't fit in, or maybe that's just my own self telling me like, yo, like you don't fit in here, like you don't look like anybody else. I also tend to get people like following me around the store, like as if I'm gonna steal something. So I don't know if there's like an undercurrent of like racism towards me. You can tell I'm a little bit more brown. I don't necessarily look like the typical white European Spanish person. The fourth one for me is that I'm kind of bored, guys. I mean, the area that I live in, Eliana, it's a great area. I'm not gonna say it's a bad area, but it's for a certain kind of person in a certain kind of phase of life, which I don't feel like I'm necessarily in. We have like one park, we have like one mall, we have a little downtown area, but I kind of tend to be somebody that if I feel a little bit fishbowled, like I'm stuck in one place, I get a little bit stir crazy. I'm used to living in places that like are very sprawled out, very big, lots of different neighborhoods, lots of things to do, big, big, big city. And this place is not bad. It's not unsafe or anything like that. It's just, it's getting a little boring. And then my fifth issue with living here is that it has just become like there's just so many things that are like hard and inconvenient for no reason. Like it's the type of place that you need to make an appointment just to make an appointment. It's cool at first and I've gotten used to it and stuff, but it's just, I'm to the point that I am in a point in my life that I just want my life to be easy. And now that am becoming a single mother, I really have to think about the future of my child and the future of me and my happiness and the things that I could give to my child, the opportunities I could give to my child, the places we could live, and the things we could do. And I'm not sure that this, for me being a single mom, being stuck in Spain in another country, another language, is going to be the most aligned place for me in the future.
I'm an American. I've lived abroad for 5 years now, and let me be the first to tell you that leaving America isn't necessarily going to save you from a Trump presidency. I noticed that my video about how to get a job abroad is getting a lot of traction after the election. I'd never want to discourage anyone from making that move if they really want to. It's the best thing I've ever done. I have no regrets about it. There are a few things that I think people should consider before taking such a huge leap. My first tip is to look up the laws and attitudes in the country you want to go to as it relates to the issues that you're worried about in the US. For example, in America, a lot of women are rightfully worried about the access to abortion. Here in Senegal, the only way a woman can legally get an abortion is if the pregnancy is threatening her life in some way. So it's not better here. And I would even say for the LGBTQ community, I know that there's a lot of worries about the queer and trans community as well. Homosexuality is entirely criminalized here. So I would just say before thinking about moving to another country, what you might need right now is to maybe just move to another state. My second tip is particularly for Black people and people of color. Understand that racism and anti-Blackness are everywhere. You're not gonna escape racism by getting on a plane, even in Africa. I live in West Africa, and one of my favorite things about living here, to be clear, is that I go outside and I very rarely even consider that some kind of negative or strange experience happened because I'm a Black person. That said, I have had a number of experiences where I've noticed that foreigners, white people, were treated better than me because they are not Black, even by other Black people. This typically happens in pretty minor ways. So, for example, maybe I'm at a restaurant and the Black wait staff will serve non-Black people or white people before they serve me. I remember one time in particular, me and one of my friends who was actually white,
were trying to go to a club downtown, and they said it was for Chinese people only and we couldn't enter. So, and this isn't Black Africa. I am in West Africa. If you're thinking about going to Europe and you think you're going to escape racism or anti-Blackness, God help you. That said, because racism and anti-Blackness are quite literally everywhere, I don't think that alone should be the reason that you don't move. I just think you should be realistic about what to expect when you go to another country. Third, I know a lot of people want to move because of inflation and the very unrealistic cost of living in the United States. It's true that other places are considered cheaper when you compare it to how much it would cost in US dollars. That said, because the cost of living is lower in these other countries, so are the salaries. This is why you cannot just eat up all of the content you see from creators in other parts of the world that are like, oh my gosh, like look at all these groceries I got for $10. They're probably getting paid off of social media or some other business that allows them to get paid in US dollars. So if you don't have that same setup, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be getting a much lower salary. For example, in Senegal, if I were to tell you how much my rent is or how much I spend on groceries, you might say, oh my gosh, that's so cheap. But Senegalese people are complaining left and right about the insane cost of living in this country. So you can't take any of that at face value, really. Lower cost of living aligns with lower salaries. The last thing I'm going to say isn't so much a tip as it is just something to keep in mind. Trump's presidency is going to affect how people around the world perceive you as an American, regardless of whether or not you personally voted for him. I was actually in Senegal around the time Trump was president and made his comment about shithole countries. The director at the research center I was at was very loud and angry. He came up to me, he was like, "Do you know what your president said about us today?" And I was like, "Whoa. I don't know him." Like, what? That didn't matter to him. I was American and I was the president of the United States. So he brought those concerns to me and I was meant to defend them. Around the same time, I was applying for a tourist visa to Nigeria and it got rejected because they were rejecting a lot of American visas because of Trump's comments about Nigeria. Or at least that's what my friend's uncle who worked at the embassy told me when I got rejected. Anyway, I really don't think any of this should really keep you from moving. If leaving America is on your heart or moving to another country in general, I absolutely think you should do that. You're going to have a level of resilience and an ability to expect the unexpected to really build a life in another country. Don't just think because Trump is president, you can hop on a plane and get away from all of this. I think you should live your best life and move wherever you want to move, but just be mindful and be realistic.
Whether you stay forever or leave tomorrow, I want to know why, because I'm nosy. Drop your thoughts below because everybody sees this differently. Until next time, ha- until next time, keep it real. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and follow for more videos. Until next time, keep it real. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and follow for more videos. Happy every day.